This was the first view of Puerto Vallarta we had from our cabin room. And you're right, it's a television screen. We were excited for another beach day, and so we went upstairs, had our breakfast in the Windjammer buffet, and enjoyed this view of the port. Right across there is the Walmart, where many of the cruise employees go to get the necessities they need. Well, we went back to our room, got dressed, and they were cleaning the video camera feed. And so that was a view that we were not expecting to see, but we had a little chuckle at it and made sure we recorded it so we could share that with you. We didn't have an excursion booked for today. We were just going to go down to the beach and enjoy some time there. Didn't know that we were going to have a little bit of a situation happen down at the beach, but you're just going to have to watch and see if you can figure out what happened. This area was much nicer entering into Mexico, as I'm not a big fan of pressure salesmen, and so I like to be able to go to a vendor if that's what I choose. We walked out and were able to get a great view of the ship, which I loved. So we decided to take some quick snapshots in front of the boat. While we were there, my husband noticed how long these lines were attaching the cruise ship to the shore. I don't even know the length. You guess. We followed the other tourists getting off at the cruise ship into their duty-free area and had to show our passports at some point in this area as well. And as we walked out, we were a little bit unsure as to where we were going. Thought we'd figure it out as we went along our way. There was this flea market, and then as you turned to your left, straight in front of you, looked like a hotel of sorts, maybe. And there was a little tiny sign that said, "This way to the beach." That was the only directions that were available for anyone to find out where you need to go. You walk down a sketchy little trail between a barbed wire fence and this building, and then come around the corner, and there is the beach in front of you. Here's my toes touching the ocean water in Puerto Vallarta for the very first time. I always love to take this videos. The waves were coming in pretty hard, so my husband was like, "Let me take a video of you as you go into the water." And I was like, "Sure, not a problem. I love the ocean." And so going into the water was something I was looking forward to doing. There was a little bit of a drop, and I don't know how to explain it other than the water pushed a bunch of sand up there. So there's a little bit of a drop as you go in, lots of pebbles on the beach. It wasn't very sandy there, and you get deeper. Well, I start to go in, and the first wave knocks me. And anyways, it wasn't pretty. So lost my hat, lost my sunglasses, lost my hair extensions all at the same time. And then he turns off the video because he begins getting ready to help me try to find, as the waves are crashing all around, where my baseball cap is and where my sunglasses are. I'm sure that I gave a great spectacle to everybody on the beach. I'm glad that he turned off the camera and didn't show the whole thing, because that's just something that nobody else will see. Anyways, it gives us a great story to tell everybody of what happened in Puerto Vallarta. And I have a couple of groups that I'm part of that wear hair extensions, and got to share that humorous story with them. And everyone was mortified for me. But you know what? I'm just going to share it with you because you might as well know some of the things that are part of Carrie's life. One thing that was different on this beach than when we were at Cabo was there were tons of vendors, local people selling braiding of the hair, bracelets, hats, a whole bunch of stuff. You also could rent an umbrella and chairs if you wanted to. We were out in the ocean and on the beach for a good 3 hours. Was turning a little pink even though I was continually applying my sunscreen to my body. And so we did one walk down the beach because I love to do that, looking for sea glass and seashells. So we did one walk along the beach to really give you a view. There's this huge yacht out there. I wondered who that belonged to. I'm always curious about who the big boats belong to. But we had a great time just walking up and down the shore. And then we decided that it was time to wrap up our time in Puerto Vallarta. As you can see from the images, there's a whole bunch of resorts along this one side, but a public area for anyone to come and set up and spend the day there. So it was lots of cruise guests down there enjoying the ocean, including myself and my husband. It was a great afternoon in Mexico. Maybe it's because I'm from landlocked Alberta that the ocean waves to me are so therapeutic. I could just sit there and listen and watch the waves coming in and out over and over again. That's one of my sounds that bring me comfort and joy. This is the view of the cruise ship from the shoreline, and it looks even bigger when you're standing on shore looking at it. And then in comparison to one of the other cruise ships by Carnival, it's truly amazing the size of these ships that are traveling on the ocean. And I know they're not even the biggest ones that are out there. So we got back onto the cruise ship, had a light snack, went into the adult only area on the pool deck. I have to admit, I really did appreciate that on the Navigator of the Seas, that there is that option to have a little bit of a quieter area around the adult only pool. And we got to enjoy some pina coladas and have the great rest of the afternoon. So as we're pulling away from the dock, I want to show you the path we took. So we actually walked all along the edge there by that pirate boat. It wasn't there at the time, into the building with the 3 spires. That was sort of their customs area, duty-free area. Then you can see the flea market. There's the white building that you need to walk alongside of to get out to the beach. And there it is. So I'm zooming in so you can see right at that red corner there is where you enter onto the beach front there. And we walked just from that down to the second point. And there is that huge yacht out in the ocean. As we continue to pull away from shore, it gives you a view of all the resorts that are lining that shoreline that has that public beach in front of it, but there are resorts. And so people have suggested that you can go in and get drinks at the resorts if you wanted to, as an option. Now what's going to be really cool is the captain announced that it was going to do a 360 turn as it needed to change the direction. It was taken out, guided out by the port authorities, and then he had to do a full pivot. So I'm going to speed this up a little bit so you can watch as we turn around in the bay, which was pretty awesome to see. Thanks for taking the time to watch our last stop on our cruise. It was something that we'd never done before, this 7-day cruise, and so we were pretty excited to share it with you. I appreciate you taking the time to get to know me a little bit better and to share in these experiences with me. You make this YouTube experience all worth it. Don't forget to hit subscribe so you get notified when my new video comes out next week.